was one thing that came to me this weekend that I wanted to share with everyone, where, Shanti's been injured and we're working on healing all that and holding a healing space. But there was that moment of me, like Friday, it was like right around Friday, where I was like, let me see if I can get somebody to come here and do acupuncture. Let me see if I can get, what can I get her externally? And it came in so clearly when I settled down and came home, that we have everything we need. This is what we do, for everyone here. This is what we've spent our whole lives on, and what interests us and what we learn continuously. And that remembering just really anchored me in your meditation too, of like, here I am holding her, and we have the medicine. It's not out there, even though it's always good to receive and get sessions and stuff like that. Thank you for that beautiful meditation that I got to bring her right into, and she was right with me in it.
You're welcome. And thank you too. That does bring me actually to a point that I wanted to make specifically for healing, whether you're doing this professionally and in whatever way that you do it, whether it's in office or hands-on or prayer or through your words or just through your intention or distance healing or whatever it is. I think maybe it's an old school kind of way, like Evangeline's been pointing to in the videos, kind of the way it used to be, and that's okay. But we're being called to something different now. This idea and understanding of oneness, which I talk extensively about in my work as well, often gets misconstrued as a relative sense of oneness, which of course is true as well, which means everything is connected. And we're understanding that more and more in the quantum world, through the work of Greg, who I like a lot. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. Just this kind of field that even science is discovering now, that in the ancient like Hindu tradition was known as Indra's net. It's a multi-dimensional, multi-layer, multifaceted kind of like a net of constellations of endless patterns of stars. And that is the manifest world. And we can see quite literally that everything is connected. Each one of us are connected. And obviously in our world these days of religious and cultural and political division, one of the important calls is to come together and unite. But unfortunately, at least in my opinion, on the relative side of things, that's never gonna happen perfectly. It's just not. You can see that everything is already connected, but as far as bringing all the pieces together, like tied together with a string, and hoping that we're all of a like mind and all, in agreement and moving in a positive direction, there's a deep undercurrent, of course, that's driven by spirit itself, that's moving in a very positive and benevolent and high vibe direction. But in my opinion, the saying by the sage Sri Ramana Maharshi back in the 20th century, your own self-realization is the greatest gift that you can give to the world, is very important also in our times. So the ultimate sense of oneness, so I just described the relative sense of oneness, which is all the things, all the parts are connected. And that is true. But also from an ultimate sense of oneness, which is pointed to in all the non-dual traditions, Zen, and really each religion has its own version of this in some kind of way, that there is only one awareness, and it's yours. Let that kind of sink in for a moment. Everything that has ever arisen or occurred has arisen or occurred in your awareness only. You have never been aware outside of your awareness. These seem like little funny, obvious, maybe redundancies, but they're actually quite profound. And so the sound, quote unquote, over there registers and is perceived in one awareness here. The sensation of your body that you actually perceive due to conditioning that you are inside of, like I am inside my body. In one sense, that's true, but also in another sense, you're beyond your body because you're aware of the body. So even the perception of the body is arising in your awareness. Perception of quote unquote other people, the perception of images on the computer screen, the perception of thoughts arise in your awareness right here and now. And so if you're doing whether you're doing a distance healing or a physical in-person healing or an online healing or praying for someone or whatever, that other person, that other being, your experience of them, your relationship with them, your connection with them is arising here and now. And so Evangeline talks about pulling energy to you rather than going out and try to find it. You can practice that kind of muscle by the exercise that we did in the meditation. Let the sounds come to you. Like I told Gail, let the world move around you and just shift your perception that it's not I'm moving through the world. I am still, I am centered, I am here, I am present, I am unmoving, and the rest of the world is turning around. The world is coming to me. There's no such thing as a future that I'm going to. The quote unquote future is coming to me here. And then therefore it's always the present moment. Future is a concept. When somebody says future doesn't exist, it does exist, but how and where does it exist? It exists as a concept, as a possibility now. So all of these pointers are important, not only, in my opinion, to, especially now, where everybody's got their ideas, everybody's got their opinions on how the world should change and what the world should do out there. First and foremost, we all know that the most important thing is to quote unquote heal yourself before you can even heal anybody. But the way you even perceive your client or your loved one or Shanti or the government or other religions or what's happening in the world, how you perceive that thing is a direct reflection of something in yourself, how you're perceiving yourself. So if you already see it from a place of wholeness, then you'll see that other from a place of wholeness as well, and not as something you need to fix or not as something that's wrong, but as a collaboration in that space. So if you think about it, doing a distance healing, the image of the other person, if you have them on the computer screen or not, or whether it's on the phone, whether you know what the body looks like physically or not, or whether they're laying on your table right there in front of you, or Evangeline has her hand on Shanti, like on the screen, we barely see her head there. Oh, and now it goes down again. But guess what? The imprint of Shanti is still in your awareness. It's still, Shanti is still arising here for you. So how do you see Shanti not attached to that physical body in your mind? So separation is, I think, obviously one of the most profound causes of suffering, obviously, as we know, and also trying to fix the exterior world before fixing ourselves. And also the misperception that there is such thing as an exterior world that's not arising, directly perceived here. The last little, if in case anybody needs to go, and then I'm done, the last little piece of advice that I wanted to give for where we're at in our world right now, and where you are as healers and teachers and influencers, again, whether professionally or personally, is if this is genuinely a spiritual calling and not an ego trip, then you have to completely surrender to what it looks like. We all say we want to be used by God, we want to be helpful, we want to be of service to humanity, but then suddenly sometimes the ego gets involved and we think we know what's best for everyone, and it gets mixed up in money and wanting people to like us, and it's a sense of kind of validation if we have a certain number of clients or certain kind of notoriety or whatever it is. I'm just saying that's the tendency with yoga and spiritual teachers and healers as well. So if it's a genuine calling in your life, then surrender it completely, because what our world needs right now is not more egos trying to fix it. It's a surrender to the deep currents and movement that spirit itself is taking us to, which I do believe is somewhere immensely good and beautiful, but we're in the dark of the darkness right now, and we've all been called here for that purpose and for that reason, however it is expressed. And you don't even have to go out and physically be in contact with other bodies for that to happen. This idea of the Akashic record, you can literally be in your own hermitage, in your own house, in your own, even during COVID times, doing your own healing work on yourself, with yourself, connecting with the world on your screen of consciousness, and the ripples go out infinitely and forever. There are so many monks and yogis and saints and sages that we've never even heard the names of over the ages, because they just hid up in the mountains, didn't write anything down, did their work, but we are the recipients of their light all the way down to today. So that can be you also. It doesn't have to look a certain way. And that belief in separation, that belief that you have to go out and be in contact with other bodies or even other people like this, is a belief in separation, and it's just not true. But that might be how you're called, and that's great too.